We are back with a brand new video. In today's video, I'm going to be analyzing Game 5 of the Heat versus Sixers second round series in the Heat's blowout. Like when I say blowout, dog, I mean blowout. 35-point win at home. We're going to be analyzing that game. How can the Heat close out the series in Game 6 at Philly without sending it to a Game 7? And so on and so forth, man. So leave a like, subscribe, comment down below. Check out the second channel. I just dropped a video today about NBA players' houses. So if you guys are interested in that type of fun content, man, check out the second channel. Link will be in the pinned comment, as it always is. And also follow me on Twitter, man. My Twitter will be in the description. So if you guys want to, check out my tweets during the game and stuff. I actually tweet, pretty frequently about, Heat basketball. So follow my Twitter. Yeah, let's get right into it, man. So the Heat, like I said, absolutely dominated the Sixers, man. From the start, it wasn't even close. 31-point first quarter really set the tone. And the Sixers did go on a run a little bit, like a 6-0 run, took end the half. But in the third and the fourth quarter, man, the Heat did not look back, especially in that fourth quarter. They absolutely went on a tear, 18-4 run to open up the fourth, and really the Sixers had no answer. We're going to be talking about some of the reasons why the Heat were able to win, and it all starts off with the defense. The defense was really, really good today, as we all know. If you guys watched the game, holding a team to 85 points, after last game where James Harden, had 30-something points, he only had 14 tonight. Tyrese Maxey only had 9. Tobias Harris only had 12, and then Embiid only had 17. So their top 4 players, we really did a good job at limiting their touches and limiting their opportunities. And I really like a point that Jimmy Butler made, when he said how our defense in Game 5 or in Game 4 against Philly was kind of lackluster, and he said it was attributed to the fact that you weren't knocking down shots, so people were just kind of hanging their heads on the defensive end and weren't really giving maximum effort. And he said that, in the post-game interview after tonight, that you have to be defense first. No matter if you're making shots or not, the defense has to always be there. And that's a really good point. And that's why I think, he's one of the best leaders in the NBA, because he knows that for this Heat team to win, even if they're not making shots, in Game 4, I thought we did a pretty good job getting good looks and we just weren't knocking them down. But the defense sometimes let us down, dribble penetration and stuff like that. In Game 5, I thought we did a much better job controlling, on the defensive end. And a lot of that, like I said, probably because we made shots. But in Game 6, we have to make sure that we continue this defensive effort. We cannot let up on the defensive end, because when the Heat are locked in, as much as they are on the defensive end as they were tonight, there's not really many teams in, forget today's league, in NBA history, that can score on this team and get easy looks on this team. Because when the Heat are locked in defensively, it's going to be a nightmare to score against them, especially when the Sixers, and this is another credit to the Heat, the Sixers were basically playing against a set defense for most of the game. They had, I don't know the exact stats, but fast break points were very, very limited for the Sixers, especially in the first quarter. They had 19 points, and they were basically just, they didn't get any stops the whole quarter. The Heat had 31 points in the first quarter. And from then on, the Sixers, every time they were bringing the ball up the floor, it was a set defense. They had a couple of fast break opportunities here and there, but didn't really capitalize on them. But majority of the game, they were not able to get out on the break and do damage that way. It was mostly against a set defense. They were running the shot clock down, and the Heat were really, really clamping up the pressure. And they made it tough on the Sixers, man. And like I said, in Games 3 and 4, the Heat shot atrocious from 3. Tonight, it wasn't like vintage Heat shooting. It was 39%, which is still really good. But, it wasn't like they shot 50% from 3. But you have to expect that when you go on the road in Game 6, some of those shots might not go in. So the Heat have to make sure that even if those shots are not going in as they did tonight, the defensive effort has to still be the same, and then they'll win the game. I'm confident if the Heat bring this defensive effort that they did tonight, no matter whether they're knocking shots down or not from the 3-point range, they're going to win the game and they're going to win the series. So it all starts with the defense. I know the commentators, for some reason, were talking about 3-point shooting. The Heat didn't go nuclear from 3. It was 39%, which is, like I said, good, but it's not anything special. You know what I'm saying? The Sixers shot 28% from 3. They had a couple of threes here and there, but we really, really limited their opportunities from the three-point range. Offensive rebounds, I thought, were huge for us as well. PJ Tucker made so many little plays, as he did in the first 2 games. He really battled on the boards. And then moving the ball, man, 26 assists to 14. I thought the Sixers played really stagnant, and that's, like I said, very hard to do, move the ball in a successful fashion if you don't have the playmaking ability against a set defense. And their only true playmaker is James Harden, which is why they only had 14 assists, because there were some miscommunications. There were some times where, the balls were just like, it was 2 players for the Sixers, and like no one knew like who was cutting and who was not cutting, and the ball would just sail out of bounds. Like, there was a lot of that, and like I said, that's very hard to do. It's very hard to move the ball successfully without multiple playmakers against a set defense. And the Heat were able to do it in transition and against the Sixers defense because they had guys who were willing to pass and play make. I thought Hero didn't really score the ball until like the 3rd or 4th quarter, but I thought his playmaking was on point. Even if he didn't get like the amount of assists, like he only got 3 assists, but he did have hockey assists that really did not show up on the stat sheet. I thought Bam defensively was huge, man. He only had 12 points. The thing about Bam is people just look at his shot attempts and say, oh, he had a bad game. Like, Bam defensively against Embiid, I know Embiid was banged up and stuff, and he had that incident with Deadman where the ball hit his face mask, and he was down for a couple of minutes. But Bam did an exceptional job on Embiid. Like, he was all over him, fronting him, making it so tough for him to even get position. And the thing about Bam that makes him such a smart defender is he knows that Embiid has the physical advantage over him down low, so he forced him out to the 3-point line and made him face up every time. Like, I don't think Embiid was able to post up Bam once this game. I think every possession where Bam was guarding Embiid was facing up, and Bam was able to either make him take a tough shot, which Embiid sometimes knocked down, or get a stop. So I thought Bam was huge. Vincent and Strews, man, you got to give these 2 kids credit, because every time Lowry has gone down, or every time a player has gone down, or every time they've needed to step up, these 2 guys have been, they've been ready all season whenever their number has been called. Gabe Vincent, I thought, was really, really good tonight. Strews went nuclear from 3. He had 10 rebounds as well. He was actually the Heat's leading rebounder, which is very surprising to me. But a double-double for him, 19 and 10. Hit a couple of threes, had some fast break points, and definitely defended really well. And then Oladipo, we have to talk about Oladipo, man, because I don't think the fact that he's on a minimum contract gets talked about enough. This guy, and the reason that Victor Oladipo on the Heat is so dangerous is because he provides a skill that not many players on the Heat do, which is taking a player off the dribble and creating his own shot. And you don't have many guys on the Heat who can do that consistently. Like, you have Jimmy, and then sometimes Tyler and Bam, but Oladipo, at his peak when he was an all-star, his best attribute was taking people off the dribble, and he's definitely shown flashes of that when he's come back from this injury. Duncan got some minutes. I was happy to see him on the court. He got his first 3-point attempt first 3-point made in garbage time. So I thought he was good. I thought Caleb Martin had a couple of defensive plays. He had a steal when the Sixers inbounded the ball, and then he had a layup off that steal. Just the little plays for Caleb. But I thought Jimmy, player of the game, man. Jimmy, and people after last year's playoffs were saying, oh, this guy's a fraud and outscored by Bryn Forbes. Jimmy Butler deserves his respect, bro. He is playing. I cannot name 3 guys who are having a better playoffs than Jimmy Butler is right now. Like, Jimmy Butler is the man, and he is showing why he is a superstar, why he is, a top 15, top 10 player in some people's eyes. And he is showing out, man. He is doing everything, whether he's scoring, whether he's playmaking, rebounding. In the first quarter, he set the tone, and the Heat were able to follow. That's a true leader right there. So how the Heat can, move on and win Game 6. Like I said, Game 6 is a must win. You cannot give the Sixers life. You can probably expect, and I'm not just saying this because I want to sound pessimistic, but like, it's very obvious that the role players shoot better at home. So I don't expect Strews to have as good of a game as he did tonight in Game 6 because of, the atmosphere in Philly. So even if the Heat don't shoot, like, 39% is not anything special, but even if the Heat shoot like 35% from 3, I want to see the same defensive effort. I want to see the same, hustle, tenacity to get offensive boards, and just passion and fire, man. You know the Sixers are gonna come with it because their season is literally on the line, and you know if they lose, they're basically, not basically, they're done. So they're gonna come with it. Their fans are gonna be loud. You know that place is gonna be rocking. So you have to make sure that you do not let up the energy defensively, and then offensively. If your shot is not falling, get loose balls. Do it the hard way. Do it in the mud, and yeah, I think we'll win game 6 if we follow all that. We had a great game plan today. We saw the zone here and there. We saw trapping. We saw blitzing, and like I said, I've been saying this since the start of the series. The Sixers don't have anyone who I trust consistently to beat us from the perimeter. Danny Green had a great game 3. I'm pretty sure it was game 3. He had a great game 3. His season high was in game 3. But how many points did Danny Green have tonight? He had a whopping 6. So like, I don't expect Danny Green to be a consistent 3-point shooter for the Sixers in every game. Granted, he's going to be at home next game, but I would still stick by the game plan. If you have to give Danny Green a 3, then you're giving Danny Green a 3. Now what we don't need to do is what we don't need to do is make sure that we don't double team Danny Green, because I did see a couple of possessions where Danny Green had a 3, pump faked, he drove because he had a step, and then another guy came rotating out of nowhere for the Heat and left another dude wide open in the corner. Danny Green's not a driving threat, man. He's not gonna do an acrobatic layup. It's fine if a guy gets beat off the dribble. Make Danny Green beat you from the paint and in, if that happens. But like I said, the Sixers, they don't have anyone from the perimeter who I trust. Furkan Korkmaz, I'm surprised he's not getting more minutes, because Niang has been like terrible. Like the whole series, he's just been doing cardio out there. So I'm kind of surprised Furkan Korkmaz is not getting minutes. But hey, man, I'm not the coach, and I'll definitely take it if there's less shooting for the Sixers out there. Yeah, I would stick with the game plan that we saw in game 5. You know the Sixers are going to come with it, be loud. Their fans are going to be loud. They're going to come with energy and passion, because like I said, their season is literally on the line, and they have to win game 6. So the Heat, it is imperative, and I keep stressing this because I don't want the Heat to just come up with a dud next game, because I want the Heat to fight and show the same defense that we've been seeing this whole game, and they'll win game 6 in my opinion. So yeah, that's where we're gonna wrap up the video, man. Leave a like, subscribe, comment down below. I'll see you later. As always, peace.